we made a trip to Toronto, Canada, and this video is completely impromptu. So before we get into this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It is definitely appreciated. And with that being said, let's get into this unplanned video. So, like I said, this video is a little bit unplanned, uh, impromptu, a little bit. I mean, as you can see, I am in my hotel room here in Toronto, and yeah, when I go when I go and travel different places, I like to visit different comic book shops, and that was definitely in the plan, not on the fly or anything like that. But I didn't necessarily plan on making this video. So, with that being said, my wife and I, we made two stops at two different comic book shops. One being the Silver Snail, I believe it's different, and the Beguiling, I believe that's how you pronounce that. As you all know, I'm very bad at pronouncing names, and yeah, so the Beguiling uh, is the other comic book shop. Now, the majority of everything that I picked up, actually everything that I picked up, uh, was from there, and only one book from the Silver Snail. Now, before we get into that, though, I mentioned this before, I am also a fan of novels and, those pictureless books also, right? But I am a big supporter of indie uh, authors, same as comics, right? So my wife and I, we went to a bookstore called Indigo, and I'm like, and this is also going to serve for the comic shops as well. Like, if there's something I can get back home, I'm not really stressed on buying it here. I want to get something that it's hard to find, like really hard to find, or is something special to here, Toronto, Canada. So that's kind of, for the most part, that's what I stuck with between the bookshop or the bookstore and the comic shops. So anyway, the bookstore Indigo, I did pick up one book, and apparently this was recommended by the lady that worked in the store. Apparently, the only place you could get his books physically is in this particular store, like Indigo. Uh, I guess it's a chain. It's sort of like a Barnes and Noble. From my understanding, that's what it is. So anyway, I picked up it's a sci-fi book called The Call of Abaddon, and it's a signed edition, Canadian author from Toronto, actually. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool, and he did sign it right in there. I don't want to bend the cover too much, but some some cool art, I guess, inside the book. I think, as far as I know, this is like the only two pages with art in it. But yeah, so I'm always down for some good sci-fi, some good indie author, like supporting some local stuff. And I don't think she said that store is the only place you can get this. So yeah, I'm excited about this. Add it to my indie book collection. So that's my novel. I only picked up one book from Silver Snail, like I said, and it's not really a book that is exclusive or necessarily Canadian or things like that, but it is a book that reminded me from of my childhood. And if anybody remembers the cartoon from the 80s called The Centurions, then you might appreciate this. But this is the first issue of four. The Centurions, Power Extreme. I used to love this cartoon, man. This was a very fun cartoon, man. And I mean, I'm not in it for the, you know, investing kind of deal. So the condition, it's got some, some spine ticks and things like that, but in a big crease like right here. But it doesn't bother me too much because, like I said, I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not trying to resell these things. These are for my personal collection. I enjoy these. But anyway, Centurions Power Extreme, the first issue of 4, and I would like to find the other 3. Now this was $5 Canadian, which came out even cheaper for me. So yeah, pretty cool, right? Silver Snail, not bad. Now, as far as the comic book shop, unfortunately, I didn't get any video in there because it was it's small, like thin, but it's long. But the store, it's nice though. It's very well organized. It's very clean. Um, it's really nice. It's really nice. Now, I will say though, I feel like some of the stuff is a little bit, even when you convert it to US dollars, it's some of the stuff is a little bit pricey still. So that's like the only thing, and that's kind of why I kind of held back a little bit in just purchasing this. Um, but yeah, aside from them seeming to be a little overpriced on some things, the store was really nice. So if you're ever in Toronto, definitely check them out, Silver Snail Comics, and yeah. So my one and only purchase from there. Pretty cool find. Pretty cool find in my opinion. So I'm happy about this. Now over at the Beguiling, I'm really bothered by that on the pronunciation. Really, I am. But anyway, the Beguiling, I got a couple of freebies. So, a couple of bookmarks. Now, this is the name, or this is like a little flyer. Tell me how you pronounce that. Am I the Beguiling? Am I pronouncing that correctly? The name of the store. Yeah, so three great on the back of it. It says these three great comic shops. So it's advertising not only this one, but there's two others. Um, I didn't get a chance to go to those, but yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Now I did like this shop. Really nice people that work there. Really nice people, very helpful, pretty cool. I got some pretty cool stuff from there too. So yeah, like I said, bookmarks. This one's kind of sideways, I guess. So got this bookmark from them. Another little bookmark. There's a long bookmark too. So that, a couple little freebie like manga samplers. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with too many. It's Viz Media, so yeah, got that one, and there's another one right here. Another manga sampler. So get the Viz Media. So yeah, pretty cool. I'll check them out. There's some manga that I like. Um, so yeah, maybe that'll get me into some other stuff. Now I'm trying to decide. Yeah, I'll save that. I'll save this for last. Now, like I said, I wanted to stick to more local Canadian, Toronto based related type of stuff that I really is either very hard to find back home or I can't find it because it's not available. So I feel like I hit all of those with this purchase of all these things. Now this one is from a local indie author, Tetsunari Tawarar. Yeah, I'm just gonna give up. So a local indie author. Now this is one. They had three different books from this writer. Now what's really cool, I chose to get this one because I think I like this. All of the covers and everything was really cool, but this cover was probably my favorite of the three. Um, but what really, really sold me on this was, okay, so first of all, it's pretty thick, right? Um, black pages all throughout this thing, right? So let me just show you. Like, I thought that this was so freaking cool. Like the whole. Now the other two books that I didn't pick up were also like this, like style. So I thought that was like really really cool. Man. And these are horror like horror based or genre based kind of comics that or maybe a little bit sci-fi, horror slash sci-fi. I don't know, some kind of combination of those, which I dig. I dig those a lot. So yeah, and on the back, it's just man, pretty cool stuff, man. I wanted to get the other two as well, and I feel like that's going to be one of them things. I'm like, man, I kind of regret it, and I didn't. But I believe that he does. I believe he has a website, so we'll check that out here soon. So sticking to the Canadian train, Captain Canuck. Now I have heard of Captain Canuck before, but I haven't really come across hardly any Captain Canuck. But anyway, this is volume one. They had volume two and volume three as well. I passed on that because one, luggage, and then two, I don't want to invest that much into it in case I don't really like it that much. But either way, I was happy just getting volume one. If I do like it, I'll try to see if I can come across volume two or three. I'm not saying this is not available in the US. I don't know. I don't think. I have not really seen this in the US. So let me know. Like have you guys seen this like in the US anywhere? I'm really curious. So anyway, Captain Canuck Volume 1. I'm not even sure which run this is because apparently he has had a couple of runs, and the guy at the store told me that this was from one of his newer or more recent runs. So yeah. So anyway, so Captain Canuck or Canuck Volume 1. Now this book, I did see this book in Indigo, the bookstore, where in their comic book section. Um, but I held off. I was trying to be disciplined. I held off, and I didn't get it. And I'm glad I didn't get it because when I got to this store, they actually had a hardcover edition of We Stand on Guard. Now, not really familiar with this. It's from Image Comics, actually. And Brian K. Vaughan is the writer. So, it was a 6-issue series, and this is the full collected hardcover. And I'd rather have hardcovers than trade paperbacks. So I lucked out, and I'm glad I held off and I waited. So anyway, yeah. So this is like apparently it takes place in the future, where the U.S. tries to invade Canada or something, but there's this group of I guess they call them freedom fighters in here that rise up and saves Canada. Something along those lines. But yeah, yeah, pretty cool. Like I have not. I mean, I know it's Image Comics. I'm not saying that it's not available in the U.S. I'm just saying I have not seen it in the U.S. And I don't know why my camera is shaking. Are we having an earthquake? I don't know. We're not. I feel nothing. You open it up, and We Stand on Guard comes from their the Canadian national anthem. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's the whole Canadian national anthem right there. So I thought this was pretty cool. It's Canadian, winning Canada, right? Yeah. So the hardcover. Now, these next two, I was not planning on picking up anything in this format at all. But my wife, being a bad influence, she encouraged me to. Oh, it's not a bad thing. But these two books are not in print. I have not seen these books I don't remember seeing these books at all, to be honest. But me being a Deadpool fan, I had to get Deadpool the complete the complete collection from Daniel Way Omnibus, Volume One. And there's now this has that clear. I'm gonna take it off once I get home, but I'm gonna keep it on there for now. But it was 60 Canadian dollars, which equals to be like 42 or 43 US dollars. And the cover price is 100 in US, it's $100. Um, so I feel like I got a good deal on this, right? So I got volume one. I can't wait to take those plastic sleeves off. And I also got volume two. So I have both volumes of this. It's going to suck traveling with these. But once I get them home and on the shelf, it's going to be worth it. At that point, I'll say that's worth it. Now, I did not notice this until after I purchased these, but the binding, it's not good at all. Like you can see right there, that is not good. I am not happy about that. My wife, she said, since they're not in print anymore, at least you still have them. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I just got to be very careful because both books are like that. Very, very disappointed in that. Very disappointed in that. But yeah, that's pretty much my Toronto haul, man. So the bugling is that yeah, the beguiling, whatever it's called. Um, like I said, it's a really nice shop. It's a really nice shop, and they have a lot of stuff. They have a lot of back issues. They have a lot of graphic novels, hardcovers, omnibuses, things of that nature. You know, and their new comic section is pretty decent as well. I don't I don't think they really focus on that for some reason that much, but they have a huge like indie writers, you know, indie section as well as a big manga section. Man, big manga section. So they have really something for everybody there. Um, yeah, and, you know, so I definitely recommend the Beguiling if you ever hit Toronto or the Silver Snail. Both very interesting names for comic book shops, I gotta admit. But yeah, if you're ever in Toronto, man, definitely check one or both of them out because they're really cool. Silver Snail, like I said, I feel like it's a little bit. It just feels a little bit more organized. They have figures and you know things of those that nature. From what I've seen, the Beguiling was very just strictly comics and manga type book oriented stuff. So yeah, man, that's it, man. So let me know, let me know, guys, if you ever been to Canada, anywhere in Canada or Toronto specifically, and if you been to any comic shops and did you pick anything up? Let me know what you think about what I picked up. Always curious. So that being said, catch you guys in the next one. Man, this is really an impromptu.